Alright guys, I'm here to say I'm sorry. I have to formally apologize to Xin-Xi, because you know what? They weren't the problem, I was the problem. Because I kinda suck. And these games show I'm the problem. Anyways, starting here. So we get a decent spawn here with Xin-Xi. We get 2 mountains, and we got this 3-part right here. These smithery spots, you're gonna see those in the future. Those are definitely gonna help me out, and that's gonna really help me get my economy going in the future though. That's the thing. Xin-Xi is a bit of a slow start, but once you do get rolling, you get rolling. Alright, it's no joke. You get some decent mountains here, and you know, this is a pretty good find here as far as villages go, you know, and plus we got hunting here. We can get a level 3 city just with mining. A level 3, I think. That would be level 2. Yeah, level 3. We can get a level 3 city just with mining, which is very good. Well, mining and hunting is what I mean to say. But you do end up pivoting into hunting regardless with Xin-Xi, just most of the time. And all of our villages have mountains, which sounds like it should be 100% of the time, but it's not. So we're fortunate to have it, and we do get an explorer here. And this explorer does reveal a lot about our opponents, about their territory, and it does do good work. This is the Lord's Explorer, if you will. And, you know, get the capital city there, see some unconquered villages up in the corner. And strange enough, the one village I could have had contact with over here, there's a village up here in this, right there on that dot right there. That's kind of weird, but, you know, I'm not here to dwell on it. We push forward and, you know, find a rider here. They encounter us, we encounter them. Take care of that. We find a nice ruin out here on the mountain. And that's the thing with Xin-Xi. Mountain ruins, they're your best friend, because they can't get them, I sure can. And I don't have to risk stars to get a crap ruin, you know? So again, they come in here, smack through with their riders, and we push forward with our warriors, find them on the village, and we proceed to take the village. And as you can see, my plan is coming to fruition. I start here with Smithery in this city over here. Now, the thing is, I have to get forestry. Number one, I have to get hunting to level up this city. I have to get forestry to, number one, I guess level up both of these cities actually. That's the problem. Part of the problem, but with a obvious solution. Good. Anyways, so we do get some amazing smithery spots here, and I do get all the way population, and I do anticipate getting hunting here, picking up that little horsey over there, and getting a giant, which would be very beneficial to me. That's the thing with Xin-Xi. If you got decent, you only need decent spots. They don't have to be like amazing, spectacular. If you get decent spots, you're cooking. Alright, you're cooking easy, and you get some pretty decent forest rates with Xin-Xi as well. So, like, late game markets, you can get some lumber mills going. You can get those sawmills, and you can just start pumping out giants like it's nobody's business, and it's really fun. Fun to win, you know? And so that's the thing. Omaji's kind of the opposite in an extent. Not really. I mean, yeah, kind of, because number one, Omaji, you're always going to go rider roads. That's kind of their bread and butter. And, you know, they got first, Omaji always first take his organization. Then you go into roads, then you connect up, then you go into farming. You might go to farming before roads, depending on how many farms you have. If you have a lot of farms with Omaji, you're actually playing a pretty decent game economically. But the further you play on with Omaji, the harder it is to get some decent rates with, decent like giants, because your giant potential is pretty limited. You know, you get some monuments, but like besides that, it's not nearly as high as you'd say with Xin-Xi. And I do get a lucky population ruin right here. This village is out of my reach, unfortunately, because I'm not researching roads just to build a bridge to get here. That investment is way too much. Riding to roads. Roads is like 10, that's 17 plus 5, that's like 20 something stars to get one village. It's just not worth it. In the long run, maybe, probably not. And you know, so we see here, I have almost enough to get a giant in this city. Very close. And this city is very close to upgrading as well. And I will get a giant in this city if I chop and collect the horse there. And we do get the giant, as I was saying, with the horsey. Give him a smack. He is starting to poke at my cities here with riders, but now that I have horsemen, the problem is, like, Omaji versus Xin-Xi, once you get the swords up, there's not really a lot they can do as far as the riding goes, because the defensive, you can chip away at them, It's a 5-star unit. 5-star. It takes about, I'd say 4 hits, 4 to 5 hits, depending. And it can be pretty demoralizing because, number one, you just like whittle down your riders for like 1 health, and you have to let them rest up again, because that's just how Omaji works. That's how rider roads works. You have to cycle them back and forth, and so it's just not so great. Once you get a game against a Xin-Xi player that gets a solid foothold in the early game, and then to the mid game, it just gets harder and harder. And that's the thing, Omaji, they have to capitalize on the early game, because after that it just starts building and getting more difficult. So we see here, okay, we got some development as far as they go. They got farms. They did not go for roads. You know, just because of their density is why. Because their density is just so lame, honestly. I guess the only road connection I could see here is like going up through here, connecting these 2 cities, connecting this with 1 road, and I guess connecting this with 2 roads, but it's just not worth it, honestly. And that's the thing, the roads aid your aggressive plays, but if you don't have the ability to make these aggressive plays, like, number one, he's not producing enough riders, I'd say. He's focusing on his economy, but Xin-Xi's going to out-economy you. You got to focus on taking those cities. And if I get a stronghold in a city, let's say, just with the swordsman, honestly, it's just looking not so great. Even here, this what's it called, swordsman, can push pretty far just because of, number one, riders are just weak to swordsman. You know, more attack, more health. 7's back. He has to retreat him pretty far back. And so here, he smacks with the warrior. That's A-okay by me. I don't really care. And this city, you know, smart not to upgrade this city. That's fine by me. Because this rider is 100% going to take that city. And this right here is going to become a beautiful place to place a giant. 1, 2, 3. Get that. You don't even need to chop for it. And we're actually going to get 2 giants next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's enough for another giant, which we giant push, which is kind of insane. Again, the giant potential here is insane. If you count out your resources, you will. If number one, I've started counting out my resources, trying to be a little bit more resourceful, a little bit more attentive in my games. I'm learning a lot, honestly, from number one Poly Champions. You know, I've been watching a lot of their videos, and you know, you can see me kind of grow here as far as a player, and you know, that really helps me out. So they're trying to heal up their riders. They're starting to form this like backline of riders here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders. But honestly, compared to my 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 swordsmen and a couple of warriors sprinkled in. But with the giants, the spam is just too good. Like the giant spam is crazy, and there's not much they can do about it. So I just move here. I'm trying to get a stronghold maybe in this city, and this swordsman is actually looking to promote pretty soon, because these rider hits actually allow it to upgrade. And actually, we just keep pushing here. Good for us. We're sieging their city. And with lumber huts and hunting, we do get this up. We go for a, I believe it's, what was it? A workshop? Yes, a workshop, aiding our economy. And our economy, we're just cooking them, honestly. It's looking pretty fine and dandy for us. And comparative to them, their economy isn't nearly as great as ours. And we have so many giants. And even if they do get a giant on the board, we're not very scared. We're already in the hunting zone, and archery isn't very far, and that could be one route to nullifying giants. That's a problem too with Omaji. They don't really have a good response to giants early on. Later in the game, yes, they could have some better responses, but riders just aren't going to solve the problem. You got to throw like 6 riders at a giant to kill it, I think. I don't know. I feel like that's not true, because I've heard that is not true. I think I've misheard, honestly. That's just me not paying attention. But yeah, honestly, it's kind of insane. This pressure is just way too immense. They're going to come in back and forth with the riders. But we're just going to come in just as fast and just as quickly. And I might even invest in roads at this point just to be able to like smack in. But no, that doesn't make any sense. Number one, there's nothing close enough to do that. And this is all their territory. Roads would not be beneficial. And you know, even though they have the city advantage here, or had the city advantage, now it's 5-4. Even though they had the city advantage here, they used to have, let's go, this city. Yeah, they used to have the city advantage. Just because of our economy back here, just our stronghold, our backbone, this is just going to help us push forward. And you know, even with the smithery and the mining here, we're able to level up this city. And you know, now they're spamming defenders. That's a sign of a quick loss, or a loss soon to come. That's just what it is. And you know, now they're investing in archery, and that's the problem. We invest in mathematics. Number one, we see some pretty good sawmill spots here. Given if we go for an expansion here, it'll be a little bit better. You know, such things. This is a decent sawmill spot already. This is a decent sawmill spot. You know, level 3 spots, not crazy, but not bad neither. And we do end up going for the kill here and sieging this city with a veteran swordsman, which is completely unbreakable for the opponent. And they're starting to get kind of starved here. And you know, these swordsmen are getting plenty of kills. They're really farming these riders like it's nothing. And you know, our opponent just has to give up because there's just honestly nothing they can do. And I actually have a second game here just to show how dominant Xin-Xi can be if you play correctly. What's up, guys? This is the second game with Xin-Xi, and we're gonna start here. Number one, we got some pretty good mining spots, pretty decent, you know. Level 2 smithery, level 3 if we so choose to expand with our borders. We push here towards the center. We are playing Barter in this game. Now, Barter is an objectively better tribe on drylands, but if you're able to outplay and just play better than your opponent, which I will do here, then you're looking pretty good. And number one, this is a pretty great spot right here. As far as mining goes, we're looking pretty great, pretty good. And I do choose to go for, instead of mining here, I go for hunting. Number one, you get easier access to archery this way, like some units that you might need earlier and somewhat later. And I get a level up there. And I do have parallel resources somewhat in these two cities. And this city does have an animal here. In the game, when I was playing it, I thought there was an animal. There was not an animal in this top city here. But we do get mining as well before capturing. And we are able to get some pretty cheap techs and get them for, you know, pretty good cities here. This central city is going to be our stronghold against Barter. They're already expanding into riders. They got another city here. So as far as we know, they have their capital, which is probably back in this corner. And, you know, they have it here. But their mistake, well, number one, there's nothing they really could do. Just the way the mountains spawned, it was very difficult for them to push towards the center. And that's the great thing with Xin-Xi. You never get walled off by mountains. It's not like IMO. IMO, sometimes you literally just get walled off, and there's not much you can do about it. But not with Xin-Xi. You know, you got the climbing tech. So we kind of push here. I give a good smack to the rider, as they are unaware of our presence. And we get an explorer here. Now, this explorer does show us a lot about our opponent's territory, about villages. We do get that lighthouse in the corner. Very good for us indeed. And we basically just get our opponent's entire operations just revealed back here. And you know what's important? The city. And we also know they have roads. Now, strange enough, they do not end up going for a lot of roads. And I understand why. Their density is just so horrible. They kind of got done dirty by the density. Our density isn't so great neither. Because, you know, we kind of both got pretty bad densities. Our suburbs are pretty far apart. Can you even call this a suburb? Because they only have one. This one's closer. But, I mean, besides that, they don't really have a lot going for them as far as roads go. Which is an option you can take with Barter. Now, we do go here expanding. Get that easy level up. Get that mining, of course. And with hunting, we are able to also get a level up in this city. So, a lot of stars per turn for not a lot of income. You know, they're starting to try to spam here with their riders, you know. And it's important, use that defensive bonus. It really helps on early on. Later on, not so much. But, you know, you got to make sure you're placing your units on, you know, some good squares, you know. So we're pushing here. And also, what you end up doing, like with Xin-Xi, a lot of the time, you can get a lot of defensive bonuses just from getting maybe archery and already having climbing. And so just like, you'll end up in like a defensive stance and it'll be pretty easy as far as defending goes, comparative to some positions. We do go here. We find some more mountains this way, which is very good for us as far as smithery spots go. And we do go for smithery here. We expand out here, find our lighthouse and a ruin, which is very good for us. You know, nobody hates a ruin. They do go here with their rider, which is fine. And they do misplace their rider. You're going to see our opponent does a lot of misplays. And just capitalizing on that is all we got to do. Number one, they're not using their roads enough. They gotta use their roads here. They gotta like try to pry at my capital. This is my capital. You should be attacking my capital. If there's not a swordsman in there yet, Xin-Xi, the natural path is to go for swordsman. But if it's not there yet, then push for it, man. Push for it. So, we're here. We got mining, smithery. We're gonna have to chop to get a decent spot here. But if we get mathematics, this city is looking to be making a plentiful amount of giants. And speaking of giants, we already get a giant in this city with smithery. So, smithery and population growth. I do forego, I guess there's no real spot to go here. As far as smithery, I could have gone for this one, but I just chose against it, I guess. And, it was something of a misplay, you'd say. I do get a veteran back here, but, the thing is, if you get these corner ruins, these ruins at the side of the maps, like at the corners or the edges of the maps, a veteran's not really ideal. What you're hoping for is maybe even a population ruin, because that can be a very, very beneficial to you. Especially with Xin-Xi, just like if you're maybe short a few resources, you can pump out like 3 giants out of one city if you get enough. So, we do get border growth on this city just for this amazing smithery spot here. And we were able to pump out a giant. And soon we'll be able to pump out another one from the same city. And again, that's the giant potential with Xin-Xi, unmatched. They do end up sieging this city here, which again is not great for us. There's not really anything we can do to unsiege at the moment. So that's a bit of a blunder on my part, but we are able to come back. Number 1, giant push. That's how. You didn't see it coming, but we get the population growth reward and we get lumber huts. And we just giant push. And that's the thing with Xin-Xi. If you save your monuments, of course, but also just the potential with, let's say, mining. If my opponent was more experienced, maybe they would have blocked it with some sort of like just rider placements, would have blocked this spot. That would have been a very difficult situation to get out of, but we are able to get out of it nonetheless. So giant here. Giants are inherently, as we learned last game, difficult for rider spam to deal with, and they just end up spamming warriors everywhere, which I don't entirely agree with. You gotta expand into different techs. I'm already at smithery. I can spam swords if I want, and I'm just making giants. I'm just improving my economy. There's not anything he can do about it right now, so might as well. So we're just pumping out things, moving. The giant is just destroying units. All those warriors he pumped out, decimated, and we're sieging this city with our giant. As I hadn't shown it, but our giant was slowly marching this way onto their city, and that city will soon be ours. We have a smithery spot here. That's all right. Not so much resources here, and we do end up trying to expand this way, trying to find more villages, because there are more villages. We just got to find them, and we make another super unit, another one. Yeah, we're just pumping them out like it's nobody's business, and we're moving, we're trucking. We get even more stars, and they quit. And honestly, I completely understand. Number 1, these cities very low level. He has 0 giants. That's the thing. You're always, as far as giants go, if your opponent, let's say, if they don't have like the most amazing luck in the world, they're not going to get a giant before you. And if you're able to capitalize on that, if you're able to get these swordsmen or these aggressive, like high health, higher quality units, you can kind of like storm in just with, I guess, swordsmen, and that's just great. With giants as well. Just look at the giants. Count out the giants with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giants. 5 giants. Turn 14. That's crazy. All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching. If you got this far, leave a comment. If you didn't, leave a comment. Leave a comment. I mean, you didn't get this far. Go to the Discord. The Discord. There's going to be a link down below. If you want to join the Discord, number 1, hit me up. Number 2, if you want to play a game, I've been playing games with subscribers. I'm willing to do anything really. So just hit me up, honestly. The Discord, anywhere you can find me. And I guess I'll see you guys later.